Okay, this is the first of a series of videos on editing in ArcMap, and again we're going to be working with heads-up digitizing. In this video what we're going to be doing is simply setting up our environment in order to digitize features into feature classes. And so what we need to do first of all, in a sense, is create these empty features, these empty feature classes. And for me, the way of doing that is to first understand kind of what I'm working with. So in this case, I have an ortho image. This is an NIP image of the quad, and what I want to do is two tasks eventually in these series of videos. I'm going to be interested in creating line features that represent the sidewalks, and then polygon features that represent these three buildings. And so that's what we're going to do. So we need to have a feature class that is polygons, buildings, and another feature class that is lines, and that is going to be walkways. So to begin with, I'm going to open up Catalog. At least this is my approach to doing this. And there again, there are other approaches to creating new features, new feature classes. And so I want to put it into this geodatabase. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say New, and I'm going to choose Feature Class. Now I already know, by the way, that this my reference data, that is the ortho image, is in a standard NAD83 datum. It is geographic coordinate system. And so I'm going to click Feature Class, and I'm going to call this feature class Quad Buildings. Again, remember, underscore as opposed to spaces. We don't like spaces in the names of feature classes. It is going to be a polygon feature. And the next thing I want to note is there are two geometry properties that could be used, one of which is coordinates include M values, and again, M values are used in routes. We're not interested in that in our buildings. And in this case, our buildings don't include Z values. In other words, we're not deriving Z values. And so I'm going to leave both those blank. I'm going to click Next, and you'll notice that it defaults to the data frames coordinate system. So I'm going to leave that alone. But if you had reference data, that is, you were heads-up digitizing from an image or a DRG, for example, a digital raster graph, for example, of a 7.5 minute quad, you might have a different coordinate system, and you could certainly set it to any one of those. But I'm going to leave it here. My X and Y tolerance in terms of degrees I'm going to leave alone. This defaults, the software defaults, and generally speaking that's a good recommendation. I'm going to use the configuration that is here. Now again, important here, later on we'll talk about configuration keywords, and that may be something you use later on, especially in building easy to use geodatabases. I am going to add, however, one attribute field. Now you don't have to do this, you can add these later on, but I want to add one that is called building underscore name. I want to know the name of each building, and I'm going to change this to a text field. Everything looks good. I'm going to click Finish, and you'll notice that that populates right here to my data frame. I'm going to do this again for a line feature. Again, New Feature Class, and in this case we're going to say Walkways, and the type in this case though is line. I'm going to create line features. Again, relatively similar process. We're going to leave this alone, NAD83, leave the XY tolerance alone, my configuration. And in this case, I'm going to be putting in surface. I don't want to record the name of the walkway. It doesn't have a name, but I do want to record its surface type. So again, I'm going to leave that as text and click Finish. Now once you've created both these, you'll notice that they are in the data frames properties, and that's really where you want to be. They're empty feature classes, and we'll be working on those in the next video. We'll see that.